Alright, let's be honest. We knew this was going to happen. After the retirement of Trans Neon Orange last year, the writing was on the wall for this color. I'm your host, RR Slugger, and today I'd like to share my thoughts on the matter, as well as celebrate the life of this long-standing LEGO color. For reasons I'll explain in a minute, we're also going to be talking about the Friends theme in this video, so strap in and get comfy. Trans Neon Green was first introduced in 1990, along with the iconic M-Tron space theme. Blacktron 2 was the next adopter, and for the first few years of this color's life, it seemed to remain exclusive to LEGO Space sub-themes. In 1997, it finally broke through the glass ceiling and made its way into more true-to-life LEGO themes, starting with Divers. From then on, there was no putting the genie back in the bottle. Trans Neon Green was everywhere, and it was here to stay. Almost poetically, just like how M-Tron heralded the introduction of Trans Neon Green, in 2010, a new, aesthetically similar Atlantis theme would be the poster child for Trans Bright Green. From here, there was no turning back. By 2014, this new color had eclipsed Trans Neon Green in its usage, but it wasn't over yet. The two colors would be locked in a neck-and-neck race for the next several years, until finally, one of them had to win. Speaking candidly, it doesn't make sense to keep both of these colors. They're remarkably similar and fill a nearly identical niche role in LEGO's color palette. I hold a very similar opinion for the grays and browns of yesteryear as well, and even though I prefer the older shades of these colors, it makes more sense to choose one than keeping both in all of these scenarios. Even though my horse didn't win the race, calling it a tie doesn't make sense either. So what are we left with now? A 32-year-long lifespan is quite worthy of note as far as LEGO colors are concerned. In addition, the color discrepancies found in different batches of Trans Neon Orange don't seem to have affected Trans Neon Green to the same extent. This means that all pieces of this color, both old and new, are equally viable to be used together in mocks and other builds. Trans Neon Orange received a bit of a send-off in the Nexonites theme from a few years ago. Does Trans Neon Green have a similar celebration? Well, in looking through recent years, we can see that both Hidden Side and Monkey Kid featured the color in a number of sets. But in my opinion, these inclusions are rather lackluster and unimportant. I think if we're looking for a true celebration of the greatness that was Trans Neon Green, we need to look no further than 41708 Roller Disco Arcade. Believe it or not, but this is my first experience building a Friends set. Previously, I had bought one pre-built and proceeded to modify it, and I still haven't built the theater set I bought last year. So in addition to talking about Trans Neon Green today, I'm going to give some thoughts about the Friends theme, or at least this set. To start, I think it makes sense to address the mini dolls included. These figures just aren't my thing, but power to you if they float your fancy. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong about them necessarily, but they do feel a little un-LEGO-like to the uninitiated such as myself. That being said, I'm a huge fan of Galador, so what do I know? One of these characters comes with a wheelchair, a first for my LEGO collection. I'm of two minds on this subject. Yes, this is transparently a corporate diversity checkbox, 100%. And it feels like the LEGO group is doing this a lot these days. But diversity matters to me. Sometimes I have to accept it, even if it feels disingenuous coming from a large mega company, because without it, we get the LEGO I grew up with. I know a lot of folks watching this video grew up with LEGO in what I consider to be the company's modern era, but let me take you back to LEGO in the late 90s. Just looking at minifigures for a moment, when creating masculine characters, I had a whole host of face prints to choose from. However, the same could not be said for creating feminine characters. If I wanted anything beyond the generic lipstick and eyelashes or the unisex happy smile head, oftentimes I was left with deciding, is this character going to be based on Princess Leia or Pippin Reed? I know there were technically other face prints available too, but the point is the balance was significantly skewed, so much so that there were entire LEGO themes that didn't contain a single gal to hang out with the guys. There was a severe lack of gender diversity options in minifigure design back then, so I welcome the added variety in modern LEGO sets. I know I'm going off topic from the mini dolls specifically, but I think it speaks to a larger topic within LEGO that I wanted to comment on. I could dive deeper into other aspects of diversity, but let's leave it here for now and get back to the set. Just like with many Friends sets, the Roller Disco Arcade is constructed with vibrant, colorful pieces. While this super saturated aesthetic doesn't always work for me, I find it appropriate here given the source material. It was fun for me to see blue, dark purple, dark pink, and many other colors intersect here, creating an eye-catching display. The yellow, flexible tube that runs along the outskirts of the building is just the cherry on top of the ensemble. The Roller Disco Arcade can be opened up with these hinges and splits into 3 standalone sections. On the left-hand side, we have the roller disco itself, complete with lights, sound, and action. These circular plates can be rotated via a gear system that I had never built with before. These blue splat gears were really satisfying to work with and interlinked surprisingly well. In the middle, we have a really awesome bowling alley lane. The pins are stored in the back, but can be set up in formation along these tan tiles. There's a red Zammer sphere that can be flicked towards the pins to strike them down, but I can think of a better way to cause some damage here. When fully opened, these gray braces actually create a cell phone stand, allowing the mini dolls to watch their favorite 80s movies.
Don't breathe. Just watch it come. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Or the one.
The right side of the model features an arcade with several games. There's a large lime green cabinet and DDR clone here, but I've gotta say that my favorite one of the bunch is this excellent air hockey table, complete with paddles and puck. It's a shame that we couldn't have received a sticker to add the rink markings to the ice surface facsimile, but a sticker like that would have had to have been clear backed, and I'm happy to say we get something much, much better here. Glitter-backed stickers. I've never seen these in a LEGO set before and had no idea this was even an option. A big thank you to whomever made this decision on the design team, as this was absolutely the right call to make. These stickers rock and add so much life to the model. They were a joy to apply, and they are so hardy that even when I misaligned one, I was able to peel it back up with ease. My favorite sticker of the bunch happens to be the one overlooking the arcade. I know it's supposed to represent an arcade cabinet, but honestly, it reminds me of something else. Alright, this has nothing to do with LEGO, but if you'll indulge me for a second, I'll take you into the wild world of Vectrex. This is a video game console from the early 80s that promised the dream of bringing arcade games home with you. In order to do this, it uniquely uses vector-based graphics rather than raster graphics you would typically see on other contemporary machines. These vector lasers don't photograph particularly well on camera, but in person they are a sight to behold. The video game crash of 1983 unfortunately spelled doom for the little machine, but I've been very lucky to own one for a few years now. So, in short, I see this sticker as a little reference to the mighty Vectrex, intended or not. We've been all over the place in this review, but I'd like to circle back once more to the color we are honoring here today. Earlier, I stated that I saw this set as being the true celebratory send-off to trans neon green, and these large exterior windows are exactly why I feel this way. The pair of curved quarter cylinders are quite rare, so their inclusion here is a true gift to the fans. Likewise, this set also features 9 glass panes in trans neon green, and they may remain forever set exclusive. Running a black light over any LEGO set that utilizes trans neon colors will cause them to pop out in an exciting way. These windows that give the Roller Disco Arcade this honor were the perfect choice, in my opinion. I must admit, I was very surprised to find that this new neon yellow color also glows under blacklight, as well as a few others. Maybe the trans neon legacy lives on after all. Overall, I was really happy with this set. The build process was a lot of fun, and I think the final product speaks for itself. There are a few elements I'd like to try to modify in the future, such as creating a proper locking mechanism to keep the set closed up, but in the end, I think the Roller Disco Arcade serves as a proper, bittersweet farewell to one of LEGO's most standout colors. Thanks for watching, everyone. I've been your host, RR Slugger, and I'll see you next time for another video.